Hey guys, so I'm going to be changing the oil on my BMW 335D. This car has the inline 6-cylinder diesel motor. It's actually pretty similar to a lot of the other BMWs and other German cars actually, but I'm going to walk through this one really quickly. One important difference of doing an oil change on this car is you need an oil that is LL04 certified. That's long life 04. If your car is a gas BMW and not a diesel, it's going to be LL01. There are a bunch of different oils that have this. I believe Castrol Edge, the Mobile One, specific for diesels, and then this Motul, which I picked up on Amazon. I'll put the link so that you guys can get the exact oil that you need. It's a bit tough to find. You can't just go to Walmart. Actually, I went to Walmart first to try and find it, and I couldn't find it. So went ahead and ordered this. A few other things that you're going to need for this oil change. Obviously, you'll need the filter kit. Again, I'll put the link to the specific one. And then what I'm going to use is a topsider. Now, the BMW actually has a small access panel on the bottom of the car that allows you to access the oil drain plug. However, it's a lot easier to do from the top end, and very often you get more oil out if you use the suction tool like this rather than a drop. So that's what I'm going to do here. Lastly, what you're going to need is a large socket or wrench. I'm going to use a wrench because I already have one. This is a 1 1/4 inch wrench. And essentially what this is going to do is it's going to allow you to take the oil filter cap off. So I'll put a couple of options in the description for you so that you can kind of pick and choose and shop and pick which one's going to work for you. Again, I already have this, so I'm going to go ahead and use it. But yeah, let's go ahead and jump right in and let's get started. Okay, so we're going to start up here. You're going to remove the oil dipstick here, and this is just going to come out like this. Make sure you've got a rag handy, and we'll pull it off. Wow, that oil is really dark. Glad I'm doing this. I just bought this car not too long ago, so I'm sure it's time to go ahead and set this down. All right, and then we're going to take our topsider right here. And you want to get as much as you can out of the kinks of the cabling here, and you're going to feed this down into the tube. And if you're doing it for the first time, it's generally a good idea to line it up kind of with the dipstick so you can kind of see how deep it should go in. Go just a little bit more here until it stops. Okay. And you don't want to push it in. You're going to feel it stop, and that's going to be it. It stops, and don't cram it in because that can cause problems. We're going to separate this a little bit just so that it's all on a downward slope here, and just going to give it a couple of pumps, and that's going to get it started. Okay, and you'll see the oil coming down. And once the suction has started, you should be able to just leave it. You can see the tube is starting to collapse a bit because of the suction. It's right about where you want to be actually. And we'll just leave it here, and it's pulling through right now. I can see small little air bubbles kind of going through. It'll start to make a sucking noise once it's done, and we'll come back and go to the next step. About halfway through, as this is going, it's a good idea for you to actually loosen up your oil filter element cap here, just like that, just so that it's not fighting with suction anywhere. All right, and we'll come back once this is done pulling out all the oil. Okay, so while this is sucking out all the oil, we'll go ahead and do the work that we need to on the oil filter. And you're going to just pull it out here, and we'll go ahead and set it down. You guys can see this oil is actually really in need of attention. It's really black. Again, glad I'm doing this. Here's the kit that I got, the man filter, which is going to go right here. And then in addition, you get this new O-ring, which you want to make sure that you do install. And it goes right here on the actual cap itself. This was pretty tough to get off. I think the guy who put this on here probably didn't lube it properly, or maybe over tightened it. I'm not sure. There's actually a slit in this one, so we're definitely going to be replacing it. These kits also come with a little copper O-ring here, and we're not going to use that because we're using the siphon method rather than replacing the drain plug down underneath the car. So what you're going to do is you're going to take this and you're just going to spin it, and it'll spin right off just like that. Okay. And I'll set this down over here. Okay, and again, the next step is you're going to take a pick and you're going to remove this O-ring. Okay, so trying to get you guys a little bit better shot of this O-ring because this is all black, so it's a bit tough to see. When you're holding it in your hand, it's really easy to point out, but that's the O-ring right there. You can see it. You're going to take a pick or a screwdriver and you're just going to go ahead and pop it off. And this O-ring is I'm actually surprised. It's pretty pliable, which is good to see. Again, it does have that slit that I saw on it, but it's in pretty good condition, which tells me that maybe just the oil's kind of black, but it's not too old. Okay, we're going to just kind of clean off this a little bit. You want to make sure you're not leaving a bunch of lint in here. These rags don't really leave a whole lot of lint, so it's not a big problem. Before I put this oil filter back on, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the new O-ring that I have, and I'm going to take just a little bit of the new oil, put it on my finger, and then I'm going to just go around this O-ring just like that. And then when reinstalling, I'm going to put it down on top. Don't push one side down into the channel and then stretch it around. That's not a great way to do it because you can overstretch the O-ring, and then when you go to put it on, it can actually fold because you've made it larger than it should be, kind of like a rubber band. You want to try and push it down as evenly as possible, and that'll keep it nice and tight into the channel, just like that. Okay, so you're going to get the O-ring is going to seat right down in this channel here, and just kind of go around and make sure you might be putting it on and it could go into one of these threads and you might not notice it, so just run it around in your finger so that you can see that it's all correctly in the channel. And then you're going to want to have some sort of rag or something on the end cap itself. You don't want to dry out the O-ring, so you're not trying to wipe the oil off. However, these are kind of tough to get on. Essentially what you're going to do is you're going to just in a circular motion push down like that, and it'll get it onto the cartridge. And then once it's on, you'll feel probably about a centimeter push down, and you'll know it's on there enough when you can only see this top little piece sticking out. Okay, and then once it's all back together, again, just kind of make sure you're not leaving a dry O-ring on here, and you can set it back down in. Now this is still pulling, so I'm not gonna sock it down just yet. We'll wait for this to finish up. Okay, so we just got the last of the oil out of here. Again, you'll hear the suction. I'll just kind of, that's what it's going to sound like. And once you hear that, you know you're all set. We'll go ahead and pull this out. Grab this, hang this up. And kind of keep this clean. Wipe off any spots that may have gotten out, and then we're going to go ahead and tighten up our oil filter. And for this is 25 Newton meters is the tightness that you'll need to tighten this back down. And once you've gotten this down, and I'll go ahead and finish tightening up that here in a second, you can go ahead and put in your dipstick, and then we're going to go ahead and open this up and fill it up with oil. Now this does take quite a bit of oil. I'm going to go ahead and pour the first 5 quarts in there, and then we'll go ahead and top it off with the remaining 2.5 or so. we've gone ahead and put the oil dipstick back in. We've gone ahead and filled it up right around 3/4 full. We'll go ahead and start the engine just to get the oil circulated. We'll leave it for 20-30 seconds, and then we'll check the oil level again. And that's it. That's all you got to do to change the oil on this. Pretty straightforward. Okay, we're all set. And that's how you change your oil. Thanks for watching.